Yo, people, what's going on? Back again for another episode of Footy Talk. What are you saying, my guy? What are you saying?
So I have elements of good news and elements of bad news. Good news is right now, today, very great. Saturday, not so good. Twisted my ankle walking through my front door as well, and spent all day in A&E yesterday. And then at 7 o'clock last night, I get my app go off. 7 days isolation. Get in there, son. It's brilliant. I'm loving life.
Isolation for what, bruv?
Well, they're saying that I came into contact with someone on Thursday with COVID, but no one else I was at the pub with. I don't know. I don't have it. I've done 3 tests. I did one last night, one this morning.
What, you saying that someone that was in your pub tested positive for it? Is that what they're saying?
Yeah, that's what they're saying. But then I don't have it. None of the players have it because obviously we've got them all to do tests this morning. Everyone's fine. And then the people I was at the pub with, their thing didn't go off. It was just me. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, fuck that. That sounds bandulu to me, bruv. The whole thing don't make sense, innit? You know, like that. What the hell's that, bruv? Hey, listen, you know what I mean? I'm not going to tell you how to live your lives. All I'm saying is that sounds like a load of bullshit to me. You know, like that. So I'm not really on it, bro. It sounds like a load of bullshit. And the fact that you're the only one that got that message as well, it's all weird, bro. Like, yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, Saturday wasn't the greatest for you, was it, bruv?
No, Saturday was horrible, man. It's horrible. It still hurt yesterday, and today it still hurts. But you know, we move on. We're obviously our game's been postponed now, so we can actually see what the results are this weekend.
Oh, okay.
So we see what the results are, then we'll play their reserve team.
Yeah, but is there a way that the results could go in your favor? So
there is one way. So literally, it's a double header. So if they lose or draw one of them, and we win against their reserves, we win the league. Unless we score 50, or they win both their games, but when we play their reserves, we win 16-0.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen, bro.
No. So,
16. What the hell? Yeah, that's a bit bandulu still. All right, fair enough. You know, like that. Well, bruv, yeah, it didn't go the way that we expected it, but bruv, it's still on.
It is. Thank you for coming, by the way. I really appreciate that.
No, it's calm, bro, man. For I'll come down, and obviously, we had our game yesterday. The title challenge is on. Got 3 more games.
Nice.
1 point off top, and we still got to play the team that are top of the league. That's our next game, actually. So,
ooh, very nice.
It's going to be very tasty. Do you know what I mean? And when we beat them, then, do you know what I'm saying? We go top of the league, and then they're chasing us, bro. And they've been top of the league for the whole season, and we've been second for the whole season. So what a time to turn things around. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. It's a tasty little title charge right now, man. So hopefully,
good, man.
Business end of the season. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we had an Alisson moment yesterday. You know, when Alisson scored the header and you were like, yeah, top 4's secured for Liverpool, innit? It felt like that yesterday, man. Like, absolute 25-yarder top corner, bro, with like 8 minutes to go. And then that's when man just knew. I was like, you know what? I feel like this is it, bro. Like, I feel like that was the moment, yeah, where the football gods just said, you know what, man, you man are playing that champagne football. You deserve the league title, bro. I feel like that was the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? So
I'm so jealous.
So hopefully, innit?
Like, you got my keeper on loan, so how did he do for yesterday?
Yeah, bruv. To be fair, yeah, he made a couple 6 saves. I'm not gonna lie. He made a couple joke of saves, like joke saves that probably no other keeper in the league would have saved. Do you know what I mean? And then but we conceded a pen. Nothing he could do about that, saving that. And then 2 flipping set pieces, bro. I hate 3 headers, bruv. You know when man score 3 headers in set pieces, it's like, it's annoying, isn't it? That's the only thing.
Beauty. That's the beauty.
That's the only thing when you don't train. When you don't train, you can't really drill set pieces, isn't it? Yeah, I mean, you just gotta say man. You just gotta say man for man and hope for the best.
That's pretty much it. Like we started training set pieces at the beginning of the season, but then the numbers for training just dipped to the point where it's like, oh, cool, we're not just going to bother doing training at the minute. I mean, for us, set pieces aren't a problem defending. We're good at defending set pieces because we've got it the wrong way around in terms of grassroots football. Every grassroots team usually has a banging attack, and then they have like a fairly average defense. Our defense is pretty solid when it's all fit and everyone's playing. And and then it's our attack, which can be a little bit lackluster. But I mean, we've got to do centre. We've got Rory in it from Rebel, so he's our new centre forward. So as soon as he's fit, I'm happy with that. We've got a solid team coming in there.
See, man, I'm the opposite. Like, none of my centre backs are over 6 foot. Do you know what I mean? And my keeper's not over 6 foot. So it's one of them ones where if we come up against a team and they got a few big lads, and they're putting the ball in, you might be able to nick a goal there, innit? But on the floor, we're gonna flipping kill you. Do you know what I mean? And that's what happened yesterday. You know what I mean? Absolutely tore them apart in open play, but set pieces were an issue. But yeah, it gets like that, bro. Do you know what I mean? As long as man get the W at this point of the season, it's all about the dogs grinding out the results. It's not about the champagne football, innit? It's just about just getting the W's and then moving on to the next game. So
that's it.
Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Big up. You know what I mean? And bruv, they're not, bruv. Every team has weak points, bro. Do you know them ones there? Every team has weak points, but whether you can exploit them or not is a different ball game, bro. You know them ones. Every team has weak points. My defenders are good in the air and stuff like that, but bruv, like at amateur level, most teams aren't very organized defensively, like from set pieces, bro. Like that's just how it is, isn't it? Like that's why they're called set pieces, bro. Like there's stuff that you work on and you do these kind of things. Like at amateur level, you're never going to get a team that's super well drilled at set pieces, bro. It's a myth. It doesn't exist, bro. Man don't have a defensive coach to be doing set pieces and all these other things and when to step up and doing all these other things. It's something that these men have to figure out amongst themselves. Do you know what I mean? So that's just all it is, bro. So it's not really my team's weaknesses. It's most teams' weaknesses at amateur level. Like you see people scoring free headers all the time. Like, and if you're the manager, you want to rip your fucking hair out. But there's nothing you can do, bruv. When you see at Premier League level, it's a disgrace. But when you see at amateur level, it's something you should expect.
Oh no, 100%. Just getting all the boys sorted and good to go. Picking up heads now, but we're still going to win the league. We're going to win our league. I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
That's right, bro. Speaking into existence, bro. I'm telling you.
Mate,
you know them ones, bro. And speaking into existence, everyone's talking about Haaland to Chelsea now, bro. Like, how you feeling about it? At the end of the day, one thing about Roman is he'll spend the fucking money. You know what I mean?
I mean, you say that, but I mean, if we're talking about speaking into existence, I will marry Margot Robbie one day. So, you know, we can go down that route if that's really what's going to happen here. We ain't going to sign him. It's not going to happen. We might spend the money, but it's just going to be a case of it'll be too little too late. Or Roman's just going to turn around. They're going to have the conversation this year. Be like, cool, we'll hang on for one more year and get you for half the price next year. And they'll just get all the paperwork done. I think that's what will happen. I also can't see, it just doesn't make any sense for Dortmund to sell both Sancho and Haaland in the same window. Like I don't think it'll work.
Me neither. The only way that I can see them selling them is if they get like a player on loan or something, a replacement player from one of the clubs on loan to kind of to offset it. Like that's the only.
Let's talk about Cal going to Dortmund to replace Sancho.
But then that would make sense. Do you know what I mean? Because then that would kind of make sense. But for me, you can't let them both go in the same window. And if you do, it has to be for an astronomical fee. It has to be for about 200 million between them at least, or it's not worth it.
But this is it. I mean, okay, if you were in Dortmund's shoes right now, who would you be looking at? So obviously, because realistically, Sancho, you know, fantastic player. I think Hudson-Odoi being, you know, seen as a target to replace him makes a lot of sense. That Haaland situation, I'll be looking at going, right, if we get 100 million to spend, who are you going to get as your centre forward? Because the biggest problem there is in world football right now is I don't feel that there is an abundance of available top-class centre forwards anymore.
Bruv, there isn't an abundance of top-class centre forwards, period. You know what I mean? It's not even about available and not available. Like these man were saying, like, I done a Rants react on Adriano, that and players like, bruv, they ain't players like that no more. Now, I mean, when you look at like in the world of football, like when you look at most of the teams, not even just top teams, who the fuck are their strikers? Like Cavani's Man United striker, he's an old man, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Chelsea ain't really. Giroud's an old man. Do you know what I'm saying? And after him, there's nothing. You look at Arsenal, Aubameyang's past his best, and who's coming up that could replace him? Look at Liverpool, Bobby Firmino's not a striker. Tottenham have Harry Kane, fair enough. Sergio Aguero's left Man City. Now they've got Gabriel Jesus. Now, bro, when you're just going through the teams, where are the strikers, bro? Where are they?
There's none.
Where are
This
they,
is the
bro?
problem. I think
Like,
it's usually like converted wingers now as well that players are sent forwards. So either like a false 9 player or a converted winger. And I look at these teams now, and like, for us, like it is evident Timo Werner couldn't play down the middle. He can't. He's not a lone centre forward. But when he plays as an inside forward, it kind of works. Kai Havertz, I think, is coming into his own there. But there are some games I felt where he's got a bit lost. Chelsea need that focal point. I think the only type of coach or type of player, that is maybe world class, thought to be available, but turns out isn't, and kind of fits the mold that Chelsea need, other than Haaland, which I still feel is a massive dreamscape, I would say is Romelu Lukaku. But he's not leaving Inter. So it's like the whole situation now with how Chelsea have kind of put themselves into a corner is that we're gonna have to either go for Haaland or hang on for another year. But I think Chelsea are maybe, I'd say, a long-term centre back, a number 6, and a striker away from being a consistent title contender for a few years. I'd say maybe not a centre back, but I think primarily I'd say like a number 6 in the middle. Well, we said this last week, and a centre forward. But yeah, I think like there's not enough out there to sort of turn around and go, they're class. Like the other day, right? For me, I was called mental for saying this. I said if we don't get Romelu Lukaku, because it's unlikely we'll get Haaland, I wouldn't mind Danny Ings.
Yeah, for a couple of seasons, just as a stopgap, and that will score goals.
Quality.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll give you something different, innit? Like obviously Havertz would be your number 1, but then Ings can come in when you want to change things up and he'll score goals. No, I hear what you're saying, bro. I hear what you're saying. Danny Ings will score goals, innit?
Right.
He won't fast, and he'll come in and out of the team and just do a job, innit?
This is it. People already in the comments going, "You mad?" Like, I put it out on Twitter. People are like,
"No, I get it. No, I get it."
It's quality. I looked at his stats the other day. Danny Ings, get him up again. Danny Ings' stats last year: 29 matches, scored 12 goals and 4 assists. Last year, in 38 games, scored 22 and 2. So that's 24 goal contributions in 38 games and 16 in 29. That's basically every other game.
That's decent.
And that's in a Southampton team.
Yeah, that's not creating half as much as what Chelsea will create. 100%, bro. Like I get the reasoning behind that. Do you know what I mean? Injuries kind of messed up his stint at Liverpool, or else he might still be there. You know what I mean? So because you can't tell me he wouldn't have scored more goals than Firmino. As much as I like Firmino, do you know what I mean? Danny Ings is going to guarantee you more goals for sure. You know what I mean? So no, I hear that. I hear that 100%, bro. And what's man saying? Man said Aubameyang's not part. Brother, Aubameyang is past it. He's so far past it, he can't even see what he once was, mate. You know what I mean? That's not even in the rear view anymore, mate.
Aubameyang's about as far back as his hairline now. That's it. He's done.
Nah, he's gone. He's done, innit? Like if any man, like man said, Aubameyang's gonna bag 25 next season. Cool. All right. Good luck, innit? Good luck with that.
I think you should place a bet live on camera if Aubameyang does score 25 goals next season. I think you should place a bet.
A bet for what, bruv?
No, if he does, you should rise to it.
What should I do, bruv? Like, bruv,
I don't know. Let the comments decide.
Bruv, Arsenal ain't even going to finish in the top 4. So what? You think Aubameyang's going to score 25 plus goals, yeah, and Arsenal going to finish
in the league?
In the league?
I thought, okay. Then they won't do that now. I thought you just meant in general 25 goals. So could do.
No, maybe 25 goals, all competitions he could score. Yeah, possibly. You know what I'm saying? But again, where's that going to get Arsenal? And also, where's he going to be playing? I don't even think he'll get 25 in all comps, to be honest. But that would be a decent return. But he's done for me, bro. He's done for me. You know, like that. So I'm not really trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
You know what I mean? And yeah, big up. Like everything's gone. It's all about hybrids now. It's all about players. Yeah, there's no specialists really in football anymore. There's no specialist number 10s. Now the number 10s have to have bare energy, run around, win the ball, high press, break up the play, Do you know what I'm saying? Now, that's just what it is. It's just like loads of players, yeah, that can kind of do a little bit of everything, but no one's really excelling at anything. Like even the so-called finisher, the goal scorers now, they're not even finishers. They're not even finishers. They're just volume players now. Now, I mean, they're missing like the Havertzes and all of these guys. No, not the Havertzes, the Werners and all of that. They're getting goals, but they're missing. They're missing like what? They're scoring 1 in 4 chances, 1 in 5 chances. They're not specialist goal scorers anymore. It's just volume, high press, high frequency, attack until something happens. Do you know what I mean? And it's like they ain't really any specialists anymore. At all, bro.
No, there ain't. I think it's. I mean, that was just the way football was developing. I remember when I was about 13, they did a big piece. I think it was Match Mag. I remember. I was thinking, it can't be true. They did a huge piece on saying, in like the next 15 years, there probably won't be like any centre forwards in football anymore. And I was reading that going, it can't be true. Like, I think it was when City played a game, and it was like the first time ever it happened. Like, they just didn't play with a striker and they tore someone apart. So, oh my God, like, they're so good. They had, I think it was like a front line like Tevez, who at that point was still considered a winger after he was at Man United.
Tevez is a baller, man.
We had like some unbelievable players, and like there won't be a striker. And you're like, now you're looking at it's nuts. It's nuts. But you know, I think there'll be room for it at some point. Maybe through a sense of, I'd like to say maybe through a sense of sort of just nostalgia at some point. There might just be that creative number 10 come back into existence, or like a big
that's
man
never coming
forward.
back. That's never coming back, man. The game's like, I mean, it's an athlete's game now. Do you know what I'm saying? So because of that, yeah, a lot of these creative number 10s just aren't going to exist unless you can find someone with the guile and creativity, but also with an engine like Mason Mount and that. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, but Grealish is a throwback. Do you know what I mean? And they play him from out wide. They don't play him down the middle. Do you know what I'm saying? Because again, that they don't want to play him down the middle because they see it as more of a risk, innit? And that's just what it is. Like, they want the number 10s to do more defensive work, whereas when he plays out wide, he can do slightly less because you can have one of the sitting midfielders come across and kind of cover for him, and then you've got the left back will cover for him as well. Whereas if he plays in the middle, there's no one directly covering him if he decides not to track back or whatever. There's no insurance. And that's what it is. It's all about insurance. Like, football's become a lot more cautious as well. So a lot more cautious, a lot more tactical, and a lot more very much reliant purely like on athletes doing certain jobs. So no, I mean, it's just the game has evolved to a place where like it's never going to return to how it was, and that's fine, innit? But I'm glad I got to see both. So you know, like that.
I think it's one of the reasons why Hazard never played down the middle as well. Because I remember,
well, there you go.
He had those great seasons. No one was. Everyone was like, Hazard should be down the middle. Hazard should be down the middle. We put him down the middle for like 2 games, and he's just non-existent. I think the only time it worked when he was down the middle was when we played a 3-5-2, because then you had 3 defenders at the back. So when he didn't track back, you still had 8 blokes behind the ball. So I think it's I think that it's a shame, because I think there are so many gifted players. Especially, for example, you won't see like a Kevin Phillips, a Jamie Vardy, a Charlie Austin story anymore, because the levels of football between the bottom tiers and the top tiers, and the completely different styles, means that you're not going to see someone sort of rise up through the ranks of all these divisions and flourish on the top stages, because there was still, in Jamie Vardy's case, a prime example, there still were top centre forwards. People still played with that centre forward as he went through. Like, now, I think, like, realistically, grassroots, you're going to see people playing with big strikers or fast strikers and just very traditional in comparison to top level football. Whereas we've already established, players are going to be far more fluid in how they hold themselves. So I think it's going to be a bit of a weird one. But I think, but you're right. Football is changing, and it is a bit gutting that I think that you may be having a bit of the romance taken out of it.
No, yeah, 100%. So with the Haaland thing, do you think it's happening?
No,
or it's not happening.
I'm convinced.
You think it's just newspaper talk?
Until I see it coming through on sort of like reliable sources, I'm talking Fabrizio Romano, I'm going through those guys, and I'm hearing it from them. Then that's when I'll listen. Until then, I just don't see it. I really don't. And yeah, I just think that there's way too many people that play FIFA and sign a centre forward and think it's that easy. I think realistically, I think the only club which it would be really easy for, and I'm not thinking purely financial here, I'm thinking from a cultural perspective as well, would be Man City, because his dad's ingrained in the culture. He understands the city, he understands the club. It's the only way I think that would be a very, very simple swap. I think outside of that, you're going to be looking at an even more difficult deal for any other club. And just realistically, he's not. They're not going to sell both of them unless they have those
no chance.
people signed up.
They're not selling both of them for sure.
No, not a chance. So whichever one goes first, we'll have to see.
Yeah, facts. Super chat. Lou, what do you think of this, bruv?
Church should sign Martial. No. I don't rate Anthony Martial. I don't think he's all that. I really don't see the hype, personally, from what I've watched. I think he's a good player, but I don't think he's someone who's going to be... Oh, wait. He's the only striker in the league better than him is Kane. What? Really? I'm just going to sit... I don't watch enough Man United to sort of turn around and go, yeah, definitely. No, not a chance. Sorry, mate. It just don't make any sense. It don't. I think to be honest, I think if Martin Tyler hadn't screamed about Anthony Martial when he scored his first goal for Man United with that commentary, I don't think there'd be as much hype. I think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but he's not top draw. I don't feel, from what I've seen. I feel he gets lost in the games quite a lot. Feel free to disagree and educate me.
Bro, if you don't watch United, you can only go off what you think when you watch him play, innit?
Mm-hmm.
This is one of them ones, bro. I rate Martial. Do you know what I'm saying? Martial is quality in the pocket, good at holding the ball, good at linking the play. But ultimately, the system at the football club has let him down. And that's just what it is. It's made him have seasons that are definitely below the level that he's at. And it's not necessarily his fault, because it's one of them ones where when he's got good players around him, he always looks good. He looks good when he plays for France. He looks good. He looks good when he's linking up with Pogba in the inside left channel and doing things like that. But ultimately, that United aren't a football club that are going to make anyone look good, innit? The only players really looking good at Man United, they're not even playing well. They're just stat padding, and that's Bruno and Rashford. Not even playing well. Do you know what I mean? No one at Man United is actually playing well, bro. Like, you can't play well in that shit system, bro. Like, you can't play well for that shit manager either. Like the whole thing's a disaster. United's a disaster of a football club.
But I mean, having said all of that, even when he was playing, I think he had his first season, was it Van Gaal? I thought he looked really good. I thought at the beginning under Mourinho, I thought he looked excellent. But then I was kind of sitting there going like, the rest of the time, I feel I don't see anything particularly special. I think there was one game where he played against us where he was unbelievable. But then the rest of the time,
I was there, but he bagged two penalties against you. I mean, 2 goals against you like, at the bridge. I think
was that the 2-2? Was it when Ross Barkley scored?
Yeah.
So yeah,
he nicked the draw right at the end. He scored 2 good goals as well.
This is it. Like he says, like he has his moments, but I think the rest of the time it's just a really. I just don't feel he's someone who I look at and go, do you know what? He's a leader. And I think what Chelsea need at the minute is they need that unit and that leader and that presence. I hadn't seen Martial bring that presence. He's got the attitude. I think he's definitely got the ability, as you're saying. But it's down to I don't feel the confidence and the presence. It doesn't ooze out of him for me.
Yeah, he's
and
not.
I think that's what Chelsea need.
He's not that kind of player, and he's not meant to be though. You know them ones.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, certain players just have a certain personality about them, innit? Martial's not loud. He's quiet. You know what I mean? But he does what he needs to do, bro. When the ball gets played into him, he holds it, he links it, bro. It's just like when you look at this Chelsea team, yeah, Timo Werner's clearly not a big personality, whatever. But, bruv, his numbers are decent, bro. Like, the facts are, yeah, there's just different types of players. He still keeps putting himself in certain areas, certain positions to get assists, get goals. And even though he misses, he's still valuable at the moment, bro, because of the
100%.
positions he picks up and the positions he gets into. So sometimes a player's personality, like, it doesn't have to equal their output, bro. It doesn't have to equal their output. And I think that Martial's output would be a lot higher if he was in a better system and he was actually playing with better players, because I think a lot of people overestimate these Man United players. They think that they're better than they are. Don't get me wrong. They're better than what they're showing, but still a lot of them are dead, bro. If I was the manager, honestly, by the time I was finished revitalizing that team, we might be left with about 4 players. Legit, because I literally don't think these men are good enough, bro. Like, okay, so I just don't think these men are good enough.
If we were to go to the Man United squad now, who would be the 4 that would survive?
De Gea would survive for me. Telles would probably survive. Pogba would survive. Greenwood will survive. Martial, that's 5. Everyone else, like, if I was the manager for 2 seasons, stroke 3 seasons, they'll probably be the only players left. Legit.
Okay, now that's a big turnaround.
Yeah, bro, it is what it is. Give me 3 seasons, bro. Literally, I'm bringing in 4 players a window. Like, you know what I'm saying? Literally, that's 12 players. And anyone else that I didn't mention, maybe they might stay as a squad player, like Fred. Fred might stay as a squad player. But literally,
I like Fred.
That's what I mean. He would stay as a squad player, but literally, like, in terms of starting 11, bruv, it's mad, bro. The players I mentioned would probably be the only ones that survived the starting 11. That's 5 players.
Five in 3 years then. Yeah, no, that's absolutely fine. Yeah,
get rid of them, bro. Like, it's not good enough. Like, legit. It's not good enough, bro. Players like Dan James, McTominay, and these guys, they shouldn't even be at the football club. They shouldn't be able to wear the tracksuit and tell their girl that they play for Man United, bro.
That's fair.
They shouldn't be able to. Diallo, I don't even really count Diallo as a first team player yet, because he just doesn't play games, guys. I think he's played like 3 games for us. So, Diallo could stay as a squad player, but I mean, do you know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't be in my immediate plans because he's not at that level yet. In this current squad, Diallo would definitely get more minutes for me because I don't rate the guys that are there. But if I had it my way and I could bring in my own players, like Somare went to Leicester, I would have signed him for United already. I would have signed Tielemans before he went to Leicester. I would have signed Ndombele before he went to Tottenham. All these kind of players, you know what I mean, that weren't expensive. Yuri Tielemans cost 40 million euros. Bruv, you tell me Man United couldn't have got him. So it's just one of them things where literally, if I was the manager and I had a few windows, all of these Dan Jameses, the McTominays, the Brandon Williamses, the One Matters that's getting a new deal apparently, all these other people, bruv, they'll be out on their ass long time, bro. Like, Harry Maguire would have never happened. Like, there's so many things that would have been different. Man would have actually been challenging, bro, because I wouldn't have been bringing in these I wouldn't even call them squad players because they're not even good enough to be squad players. Do you know what I mean? Donny van de Beek, again, quality player. Do you know what I'm saying? But he ain't played enough. And the thing is, Donny van de Beek is not the kind of player that I would have signed to play in the Premier League. I wouldn't have. Like, in the Premier League, I wouldn't have signed him to play in the Prem. Even when we were linked with Donny van de Beek, if anyone's really been following me, I said that I wasn't really, like, it wasn't a signing that I was really too taken on, bro. Because I said, I don't know what his best position is. He plays 6, 8, and 10 for Ajax. And even then, he just looks like a very intelligent, technically sound player, but he don't look like a Premier League player to me. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather play 2 8s in the Premier League, 2 athletic 8s. Do you know what I mean? And play like a Pogba and Ndombele and, do you know what I mean, and Somare or something, than play fucking Donny van de Beek, bro. Like, nah, I like my midfield.
If it was you, you'd play 2 8s and a 10, right? Or would it be?
No, I play 2 8s, a 6 and 2 8s, bro. Like, you don't need to play the way I play football with my team. Like, for instance, because I've got 3 goal scoring attackers, I don't need a number 10. I don't need a 10, bro, because I've got goals. I don't need goals from my midfield, innit? I don't need goals from my midfield. If my midfielders between them could chip in with 8 goals in the season, I don't mind. But all my front three need to be in double figures. All of them. All of them. You know, like that. Even with my team yesterday, Mbappe scored another 2 goals yesterday. Like, do you know what I'm saying? It's I think he's on 15 goals in 11 games and that. Like, this is what my strikers have to do. Do you know what I mean? The guy that played wide right for me yesterday scored. And yesterday, my number 10 scored. My attacking midfielder scored. But he scored a header. But he broke into the box late, got on the end of something. But I don't expect him to score every game. You know, like that. I don't expect him to score every game. And if you've got goals up front, like for instance, look at Liverpool. When their front three scoring like 60-odd goals between them, you don't need that many goals from midfield. But in the Premier League, you have to win the midfield battle. You don't have the luxury of being able to play a player that is, I wouldn't say a luxury player, but a player that they have to do the hard yards, in it. They have to in that midfield, bro. Against the lesser teams, you could get away with playing like a number 10 that floats around and plays in the half spaces and that. But in the big games, you can't afford it, bro.
No, you're right. You're right. You're right.
No, I mean, you can't afford it, bro. Look at Leicester. When they play Maddison, Maddison's a 10, but don't think Maddison's not going to get fucking stuck in. You know what I mean? Maddison's not a one matter number 10 or an Ozil number 10. You can't play them kind of number 10s in the Prem. Even Donny van der Beek, he ain't got the personality to be running around and imposing himself physically on people. That's not the kind of player he is. And if you're not going to impose yourself physically on players in the Premier League, you have to be amazingly good. You know, like that. You can't, and he's not amazingly good. 10, he's just good, like. But he's not special. When I look at him, I don't see a special player. I see a very technically efficient, well-coached footballer that would look good in another system. But he's not a special player.
I think Van der Beek would look really good at City. That's only because of the style of football they play.
Because the style of football. That's all it is. That's all it is, my bro. Like, so when I look at Van der Beek's most of his talents, like, he's not athletically amazing. He's great. He's got a great football IQ. He's decent technically. And when I say decent, he's not going to score you a 25-yard screamer in the top corner. Like, do you know what I mean? He's a nice little intricate player and stuff like that. But, bruv, in the Premier League, you don't really need players like that. I'm going to be real. You don't need players.
You need energy
like
in the Prem. You need energy.
You need energy. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need energy. You need someone that's going to put themselves about. And that's why I would have never signed Donny in the first place, bro. I would have never signed him. So it's one of them ones where if I was the manager, he wouldn't have been there in the first place. And then even if he was, like, he's not necessarily gonna last. I'd probably end up getting rid of him because I just don't think he suits the Premier League.
I think it's a similar situation with Ziyech as well, personally. I think Ziyech is a wand of a left foot. Absolute wand. But if you stop him passing with his left foot and he's not doing anything there, he doesn't bring anything to the table. And that's the problem. I still think he's got a future at Chelsea. I think he's quality. But I think that, just being technically gifted is not enough in the Premier League anymore.
No.
I think someone was saying it in the comments. They said, I think was that the basic players when they leave the Dutch league all just going to look fairly suspect regardless. Usually, I think I think the only player I look at recently where I go, do you know what? He's not the suspect. He's looked quality when he left. Was De Ligt. I think the rest of them I've kind of looked at.
But even De Ligt at the beginning looked a bit. You get me? Like, it's one of them ones where Luis Suarez is probably the last player, to leave Holland, And the first season he left, he was just on absolute smoke, innit, at Liverpool. Like, a lot of the time people leave the Dutch league and they look like, you know what I'm saying, like you've been shafted, mate. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. I'd consider offering Ziyech as part of a deal if it was for Haaland. Because I think he would be somebody who I think I think that would tempt Dortmund still. Because then they probably would sell Sancho then. Because then I think Ziyech would be great there. I think the Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, I think he'd be great. I think the Premier League is such a different beast to all of those that he would just make. I think he'd just be so much more comfortable there. But I think, you know, unfortunately for him, he's just, I think, age 27. You're in the prime of your career. I think if I'm looking at it as Chelsea, I'll be going, he's going 28, 29. I don't really want to sit on that player of that age and not really, you know, maybe cash in on them. I mean, even when I say cash in, Chelsea only spent 30 odd million on him. You know, I think we could get that back very, very easily. So I think, yeah, just any player which comes in from the Dutch league, even if it's technically gifted, you also need to have the physicality or the energy. I think, you know, the way that Ziyech plays it's very typically stylish. It is very Moroccan, you know, how he plays. He's very relaxed, very stylish, very sort of just, you know, wants to do the really cool stuff. But when it comes to, you know, chasing stuff down and making that difference with energy, it just isn't there.
Bro, but that's exactly why, brother. You see, in 11-a-side British football, when you need the grit and you need a dog out there, you can't have passengers, bro. Like, you can't, innit? And that's how it is with Donny as well. I just feel like in the games where it gets gritty and you have to grind out results, players like Ziyech, you can't play them. You just can't play them because he's not on the dog fight. Man just wants to do the pretty stuff, but the pretty stuff don't win you titles. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And that's just what it is. And in England, a lot of the time, because of how teams play, you might have to grind it out, bro.
This is
you know what I mean? When United won the league in 2013, United grinded out probably about 80% of their games. We were shit. We were shit, but we were grinding it out. Van Persie at the back post and that when we didn't deserve it. Like, we ground out results, man. And sometimes, like, you need certain players that are there to just grind it out. Do you know what I'm saying? And he's not a grind it out kind of player. That Donny's not a grind it out kind of player. And that's why I say, yeah, I wouldn't sign those kind of players to play in the Premier League. These are the kind of players that have their best games in Europe. Juan Varane was similar, like, for that as well. You signed him in the Premier, he didn't look great. In Champions League nights, he was the best player on the pitch every single week, bruv. Like, guys doing 60-yard Rabonas and that. Like, it's a different game, innit? The Premier League is just different, guys. That's just what it is. Just because you're a good player at your club in another country, that don't mean that it's gonna work out for you in the Prem. The Prem is a different animal. You have to embrace the physical side of the game. If you don't, you will struggle.
I think it's just the quality of the divisions have become so far apart as well. Like Holland in the 90s, if you signed a player from Holland, you got a baller, guaranteed, like, without a shadow of a doubt. Now it's kind of like, I think the biggest problem, I think you had England, Spain, at a push, I'd say certain clubs in Italy have kind of dominated. Germany and Juventus. So basically 3 countries and 1 team have dominated sort of the European stage.
Yeah.
And then through that, it's just meant that I think, like, you look at the likes of Liga, you look at Eredivisie in Holland, as we said, even look at Scotland. I mean, Celtic and Rangers in the noughties were still quality teams. They'd still be different gear. Now, just the gap in class between teams in those divisions is ridiculous. You know, if you signed a bloke from Utrecht in the 90s and Utrecht were actually doing well, it's not a case of, we signed a player from the Dutch league, it's only Utrecht he's playing for, which is what people would think now. You're going, oh, okay, he's actually been playing really well, he's a good player, he'll come in and make a difference. Now there's such a huge gap in class between the divisions that you just don't know what you're going to get anymore. And that's why I really worry. Like, when Chelsea, we've been linked with Chilomeni or something, whatever his name is, from Monaco. Looks like a great player. But I worry so much.
It could be a Pepe thing. Like, it could be a Pepe thing. Do you know what I mean? That's what it is. Like, sometimes a man look good somewhere else, it doesn't necessarily translate. And man said, Rants, don't Bruno do that for you? Bro, Bruno's got 0 quality on the ball, none whatsoever. Like, but he does chase people down. He's got He's got all the physical attributes to play in the Prem, but he's just technically not good, innit? Like, obviously he puts up good numbers, but he's technically shit, man. Let's be honest. Like, the guy can't pass like a James Rodriguez or anything like that. It's just he just runs and he just spams the ball into areas, bruv. And you know what's mad, yeah? Like, I was telling my players the same thing yesterday when we were defending. When your number 10 decides to run forward and press centre backs, yeah, it just leaves the midfield so exposed. And I had that issue yesterday. When you play players in the number 10 position in the modern game, yeah, that actually want to press high up the pitch and want to get involved higher up the pitch instead of playing 2-8s, attack-minded players, they are a liability, bro. Like, they leave the midfield in danger of getting overloaded. And that's what happens with Man United all the time. The reason why Man United, yeah, concede, yeah, so many goals is because of Bruno. If you're a tactical coach, you actually know that Bruno is the reason why man concedes so many goals, because he leaves that midfield open and exposed, which then exposes the defense. It's the midfield. Man United's midfield is the reason why they concede goals. But a lot of people are too busy focusing on all the penalties that man scores. You know what I mean? And saying he's the best signing since Eric Cantona. But if you had a midfield, if you had a midfield three that actually protected the defense, Manchester United wouldn't concede the amount of goals they have, because Luke Shaw defensively isn't the worst defender. Wan-Bissaka defensively isn't the worst defender. Why the fuck are Man United conceding more goals than Liverpool? Because Manchester United's midfield is so easy to bypass. Fred and McTominay, neither of them screen. None of them are positionally good. And then Bruno runs forward and leaves a big gap in the middle for people like Tielemans to get on the ball, and then fucking Fred comes rushing out, gets bypassed, and then you're 1-on-1 with or 3-on-1 with fucking McTominay. Of course you're going to concede goals, bro. Like, there's no shape. And it starts with Bruno in the 10 running forward and playing right next to Cavani when he should be in the space.
And this is the problem.
That's just what it is.
When I heard the the Cantona, people sort of arguing that he's on a par and as important as Cantona was, I just look at it going, it's the stat padding, which means he does it on the big stage. Where the fuck was Bruno? That Villarreal game is probably the worst game of football I watched. Can I tell you how I know it's the worst game of football, other than maybe the England games over the past week? It's because I actually fell asleep watching it. I fell asleep watching football. And you're kind of looking and, you know, Bruno is supposed to be this talismanic presence for Manchester United currently. And he just doesn't turn up. He rarely turns up. But then he scores a penalty and then that's it sorted. You know, he does the little Jorginho hop, skip and jump, and that's it. If Jorginho was in that Manchester United team, he would be considered the best centre midfielder on the fucking planet right now.
Just from doing basic things. Yeah. And doing basic things as well, just getting on the ball and in the right areas and passing the ball. United need a player that plays similarly to him, because we don't have a number 6 that drops deep, gets on the ball, and does these things. Like, he doesn't have that.
Give us Mason Greenwood and we'll call it quits.
Oh, bruv, we couldn't give you him. Like, he's an absolute world beater. Absolute world beater. Do you know what I mean? So it's one of them ones where legit, if you're tactical and you've got an eye for tactics, you can see where United's problems are. You can see where United's problems are, and it's that midfield. And the fact that we're not even linked with any midfielders, that tells you that Oli does not have a fucking clue what he is doing, bro. Like, a chimpanzee could do his job.
I mean, he is very basic in his football plans. Like, he is very much sort of my defenders must defend, my attackers attack. And that's what I get from him anyway. Also, someone in the comments has mentioned something about the new Celtic manager. I haven't said anything because I misread the name, and I thought it was going to be something where if you say that, it was going to be really rude. Like, you know, when you know, Robbie reads out the names on AFTV and doesn't take the time to actually go through it.
Okay.
So Anga Postecoglou. Oh, mate, that's a great name.
Well, what, bro? That's got to be Romanian, surely, with a name like that.
He's a Greek-born Australian former football player, and he's a current head coach of the Australian national team.
You're an idiot.
G'day. Yeah.
You're mad. The man said the Portuguese Charlie Adam. You know that he didn't even start for Portugal in the last game, you know. Eric Cantona, you know, can't even start for his own country.
Listen. Can we put some respect on Charlie Adam's name? That's harsh. Just because he gets dressed in the dark when he goes at match of the day and he's got really dodgy teeth. Charlie Adam was a really good footballer, to be fair.
He was literally, bruv. He was a proper pie and pint player. But I tell you what, bro, like, you know what I mean? You might love the keeper from the halfway line. He was techie, bro. Charlie Adam was actually techie. Bro, like them man there, even players like Kevin Kilban and that, yeah, like, you know, them guys, yeah.
I saw him play.
You see players like that, they were mad techie, even though they weren't athletes, you know. But in the modern game now, they're technically better than most of the man that you're seeing in the Premier, you know. Charlie Adam put the ball wherever he wants, bruv. Like, and that's the difference in football now. Football's changed to the point where you look at Charlie, he don't look like a footballer.
Oh, mate. I think it was, yeah, mate. It's those sort of players. I remember when I went to Australia, and I'm not sure if it was Kevin Kilban or it was someone who played with him at Preston. Or even, well, he might not play at Preston, but someone to a similar name. But those sort of players where you see them get on the ball, and they are the ones which you'll find in Australia and the MLS just tearing it apart because they're considered not the best players in the Premier League because of their names and what they don't play for. Similar, obviously, I'm guessing we're going to talk about Ben White in a minute, right? That's got to be something we've got to talk about because that is
of course.
But I mean, you see them play, and they're just like they basically treat the MLS and Australia like Sunday League for the old bloke. So it's literally kind of that. I remember watching Tim Cahill as a prime example of this. Right, I went to see Melbourne City play Perth Glory. Right,
Dwight York went there to play as well.
Oh mate, so they had Sorensen in goal, it was brilliant. Kevin Muscat in defence.
Oh my lord, it's been a while since I heard that name.
I know, it was Muscat in defence. And then you had something, it might have been Kevin Kilban. It might have been someone Kilban in the middle who played for Preston. You had Tim Cahill up front. The funniest thing happened just throughout the game because he treated it like Sunday League. He started up front, went into 10, went to an 8, went to a 6. He ended up playing centre back at the very end.
It happens. He's like, you man are shit, blood. I just need to do this, innit? Nah,
it was brilliant. Just watching these old ballers just play. Like Charlie Adam, right? People say take the piss. The man was actually really good. Even at Blackpool, mate, Ian Holloway, if he fucking was like wasn't from Bristol, he'd be considered like one of the best things ever. I just finished watching that Crystal Palace documentary, which is unreal, by the way. Okay. And it's him sitting there. He's talking about. He's mad. He's doing his interview. He goes, "Oh, you wanted my Crystal Palace team to play like Barcelona, I did." And sitting there, it's nuts.
Oi, Holloway, the goat, blood.
Some of these players,
it's mad. It's absolutely mad. But nah, bro, legit. That's where the game is now, innit? Tactics are so important. Tactics are so important, and that's what people need to understand. Yeah, like if you don't set out your team properly, it doesn't matter who you have at the back, bro. Like defenders can only do so much individually, bro. You defend as a team, you attack as a team, bro. Like literally, I had a game with my team. I'll say about 3 weeks ago. It was a friendly. My team. I think we've scored as a team. I think we scored like 45 goals in the league in like 12 games or something like that. Like we score goals in it, and you know what's mad? Yeah, and in this friendly, yeah, we scored 1 goal, and you know the reason why we scored 1 goal? Because both of our ball playing centre backs weren't there, bruv. You don't understand, yeah. How much, building up from the back. Like, it's just like how much Liverpool miss Van Dijk, bro. Not having Van Dijk there, that can break lines from deep. When you play out from the back and you don't have centre-backs that can play out from the back, it fucks up your whole attack, bro. Because when you win the ball in transition, the best time to score a goal and catch a team out is when you're countering them. You counter-press them, you catch them. Because when you attack, you're out of defensive shape.
Yeah.
But what happens when your defense wins the ball, but then your defenders can't fucking play? So they go sideways and then the team gets back in shape and then your attack is dead. Do you know what I'm saying? So having defenders or players deep that could break the lines, and that's why Barcelona got away with playing the DM at centre back for so long, because they hit the counter press and then Mascherano ping breaks the lines. Do you know what I mean? Or Yaya Toure did it, breaks the lines from deep. Do you know what I mean? And Alex Song did it as well for them. You have to have someone that can play from the back. And when you don't have that, as a team, you just create less chances, because by the time you attack, the ball gets into midfield. The ball's not a good ball into the midfield, or it goes here, then it comes back here, then it goes back here, then it comes. By the time they get back into defensive shape, everyone's marking your players, and all of a sudden the fucking counter's not on, and then you're not creating chances. Do you know what I mean? So, like, people need to understand how tactics actually affect football matches. It's that simple. Like, even the goal you scored, Chelsea scored in the final. Man are saying if Fernandinho was on the pitch, maybe he would have screened it, blocked Mount's pass, and the goal doesn't come. Yeah, but that's what happens when you play no fucking DM.
We're going to play with no DM. I'm going to play like this. I'm going to sort this and put this here. Put this. It'd be fantastic. It'd be great. No, it didn't work, Pep. All right, you shit.
But this is it.
You both fraud.
If you had someone screening, these things do not happen. Do you know what I mean? These things don't happen, bro. So when people got to understand that the kind of players you have in certain positions dictates the football you play, whether you like it or not. It dictates it. Because even if Pep gets someone to play in the 6, because they're not a natural reader of the game, naturally they're going to come out of position. They're going to want to get onto the ball. Whereas Fernandinho will be like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to follow my pass, because that's not my game. It's hard when you play attack-minded players in defensive positions for them not to follow their pass. Because with the momentum, if you're an attack-minded player, you play the ball and straight away you want to get forward and then get on it again. Yeah. It takes a special kind of discipline to play the ball and say, all right, cool, I'm going to let them go now. And you see it all the time. You see it all the time in football. Like, man get caught out of position because they play the pass and then they want to get involved, bro.
That's true. It's true. But I think, it's just... people can't keep it simple, I think, as well. I think it's all overdone now a lot of the time as well. I think sometimes, even though you do want those ball playing centre backs and be able to break the lines from deep, you also do want people that can literally simply sit there and be like, my job is to defend and do this and do that. And it's just it's like, I don't know. I think there's an abundance of both, but there's a very, very few players that can actually do both at the same time.
Yeah,
and that's the dreamscape. And that player is called Max Harrison, and he plays for Imperial Wolf FC. So I'll have some of that.
That's too funny, bro. I'm fucking dying, bro. I'm actually dead.
Mate, Max on Saturday was there making those mad challenges and then pinging it from deep. It's actually really good.
Who's that? The centre half?
Yeah, Champions League trophy.
Yeah, but what? The one that had the captain?
They got the armband off of Josh when Josh went off injured.
Yeah. He's a baller still. He's a baller. He was just crunching guys and driving out from the back and that. And that's
unbelievable. He did. Well, who was it that he did? He did nearly the full scale Kurt Zuma. No, he wasn't, bro. Kurt Zuma. The bloke, he literally drove out from centre back.
It was Kurt Zuma, then blasted it over when he got to the other end. It was Zuma, bro. Zuma turned into fucking JJ Okocha, bro. He just going
Zuma was mad when he did that. That was unbelievable. If I just sat there watching that, I was like, go all the way.
Bro.
Oh dear.
Nah, it's a mad thing, bro. You know, like that. But that's what it is, bro. Understanding the game. When you understand the game, you see things differently, and then obviously when you coach teams, you watch football matches differently, innit? You watch them differently.
So true.
And you can see that Pep. You can see where Pep fucked it. Like, you can see where he fucked it. You know what I mean? He can't see where he fucked it, but
every football, anybody who just watches football's like, they're going to walk the game. They'll be regardless. You know, they've got all that attacking threat. They'll just pile it on Chelsea. Every single man and woman and whoever coaches a football team was all just sat there going, "Why is there no number 6 on the pitch?" So just like looking at it, going,
at least one.
Interesting.
Like, I never play with no number 6. Even if I was playing a double pivot, if I don't have a 6 in there, I'm worried, bro. I need at least one 6 that's going to pick up the ball from my defense, bro. You need a 6, bro. You need one. Like, the way your team plays is completely down to the personnel that you have on the pitch. If you have a wide player, for instance, that's naturally a number 10, they're not going to hug the touchline. They're going to drift inside. They're going to leave gaps, and then you might get overloaded on that side, and your fullback's going to be fucked, bro. Like, you have to think about the balance of your teams. That's why I don't like number 10s out wide, bro. And also, the problem with number 10s out wide as well is they don't want to go back the other way, because they used to having the freedom in the middle to do whatever the fuck they want. Then you put them on the outside, but when you play out wide, if the fullback bombs on, mate, unfortunately, you're going to have to go with him. You know what I mean? A lot of them don't want to go with them. Do you know what I mean? So it's either what you need to do is you just play a 4-3-3 with 3 midfielders, like what Liverpool do. And it means that Salah doesn't have to go back that way because you've got 3 actual midfielders. But then you lose goals in your midfield. So your strikers have to fucking score. They have to. So pick your poison. But Pep done no 6s, no striker, no winger, because Foden's not even a fucking winger. He's a 10 as well. Sterling, I don't know what Sterling is. We can say Sterling's a winger then. He played 1 winger, no 6, no striker, and expected to win against a fucking, like, very well-drilled Chelsea team. Like, it's crack, bro. Like, it's crack.
It's not.
How can you play no striker, no winger, like no 6, and then think you're going to be... Oh, my God, bruv. You know, like that, bro. Like, in hindsight, it's fucking ridiculous.
It's nuts.
In hindsight, it's actually crazy, bruv.
He's probably sitting there now doing his tactics in his head in his sleep.
Bro, you're playing against a 5 at the back with no striker and 10s as your wingers that are not prolific. How did you expect to win the game?
Oh, mate.
I don't know. I don't know.
I want to do this. It did not work. Why did not work? I don't understand. I want to go here. They play like this and do that. Pep, will you go to sleep, love? I'm trying to go to sleep, but I need to do this. I'm counting my tactics and my formations. Yes. I'll put it like this. Yes. Yes. I'm so happy when my sleep. When I'm here to do this. I play already. I play Fernandinho. No. I put him over here. Bro. I put this and put the Fernandinho in here, and he goes over there. No. Put the Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne for the pitch. I'm moving in David Silva. David Silva doesn't play for us. Play him out, whatever. Put Bernardo Silva over here. Yes. I'm so happy. See.
He's finished, bro. Nah, Pep's in the mud, bro. Nah, bro. Hey,
get Pep down Hackney Marshes, mate. That's what I'm saying. Pep Guardiola on Hackney Marshes.
Bro, okay, I'm so happy.
No, I think everyone just missed the most important bit there. I hope everyone noticed what I did there with my finger. If no one noticed that, I'll be really disappointed. Sits there with middle finger all the time. I'm so happy. So hang on, take my hat off.
Oh no, Pep.
More than you believe. So happy. Every time.
Oh shit, man.
You think my Pep's good? You say my Jurgen Klopp. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What is wrong with you, bruv? Oh my fucking...
You're my friend, you know I'm fucked in the head. It doesn't make any sense. I don't get it.
Oh shit, bro.
Okay. Shut up, finger. Stop talking. I am sat in the manager's boardroom. This is all the Premier League.
You're an idiot, bro.
Let me just do the register. Alex Ferguson. Hey, over here, pal. It's unbelievable. Alex Ferguson is here. Pep Guardiola. Yes, hello. More than you believe. Good evening. Yes.
More than you believe.
Unai Emery. Hello. Good evening. See, we play very well.
You're a fucking idiot, bro.
Jose Mourinho. Shut up, finger. I do not want to talk to you. 3 times. Who said 3 times? Twice! Shut up, Pep. I'm talking. They don't have to say my name, not you. Shut up. Okay.
Hey, man said Pep called Robin at 2 a.m. to talk tactics. Hey, Pep's on crack, bro. I swear. Like, he overcomplicates everything. I love Pep, yeah, but fuck you know.
Ian, yes, I need to talk to you. Yes. Can you teach Riyad Mahrez you more than you believe? How does he use his left foot like you? Bring it inside like this to the left or the right? Which does he wear Predator or does he wear Adidas? What Adidas does he wear? Does he wear Nike? Does he wear Diodora? I do not know what he wears. What are you talking about, Pep? Why are you
your head's gone, bruv.
Oh, mate, they should get me on the champions. I think I should just write the script. That should be me next year.
Oh, bro. Super chat. Pep thought Chelsea were going to go hang and be scared to attack like 2012. So he figured the 6 would be a waste of time.
More than you believe.
Maybe he did. But, bruv, like, the thing is, yeah, you know that Chelsea like to play the quick counter with Werner in behind. So a high line is probably a bad fucking idea.
Yeah, you don't play like high line against Chelsea. We play very, very well, very strong football. Vorsprung technique.
What are you doing, bro?
Oh, that was supposed my Tuchel. That one is a bit
weird. It was very German, you know, like that. But
yeah, for sure.
Very German.
Yeah, for sure.
But literally, a high line against Chelsea is a bad idea.
Exactly.
It's a bad idea.
Pep turns around.
Same with Liverpool. A high line. I'm playing out. I'm trying to play out from the back against Liverpool. Bad idea. You know what I mean? Like you have to know innit? You have to know your tactics, bruv. Like if you play Liverpool, you play with a low block and you don't play out from the back, you play direct, bro. That's how you play. You go long because that counter press will fucking annihilate you. You know what I mean? And that's what it is, bro. Like you just gotta use your common sense, bro. Some things in football are just not that complicated, and I feel like Pep just does. He does too much sometimes, bro.
Pep tries to do the Picasso. Like I reckon if Pep Guardiola drew the Picasso painting, right, he'd paint a circle and say it was a triangle. Yeah, for sure. You see, I drew the circle here, make it extra long, side like this. We said, sit down, nobody talk. I'm talking about my painting. This is literally Pep. Sorry. For anyone asking, no, this is me.
Bro, I don't know what coffee you drink, you know, but just remind me not to buy it.
I've not had any coffee today.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I've not eaten anything today. I'm just chilling. I'm just on, good old H2O, mate. Evia.
You're fucked. You're fucked, bro. Super chat. Do you guys ever see Man City dropping off after Pep leaves? I think Chelsea can dominate this league, the league this decade. We have the foundations set. You man, smash the like button as well. There's 1.4 in here. How's man saying that there's not even 500 likes? You man are slacking.
Oh dear.
Do you think that Chelsea can dominate this decade of football?
I think just because we've won the Champions League under Tuchel in 6 months, I think it's too early to tell. I'd like to see Thomas Tuchel have a full year, 2 transfer windows, see what he can do. I don't think that. I think that City have the infrastructure in place, or if Pep leaves, that they've probably win. Yeah, they've probably got his replacement lined up. To be honest, even if he does shit, I reckon his replacement is going to be Arteta, irrespective of how shit he does at Arsenal.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean he's literally molded Arteta, hasn't he? And I think
but you got Ten Hag there as well, blood.
Yeah, but Ten Hag is, I think, if Ten Hag came to the Premier League, I feel like because City, I actually rely heavily on their academy and developing. I think Ten Hag would be good at a side that works well with an academy. So, say for example,
City's academy is in the works. Like they've got the Barcelona structure in it, so that would work for Ten Hag.
They do, but I think it's too early to say. I mean, the only reason I say Arteta is because I think
he's been there before.
He's been there before. I think I still think he's a semi-decent coach. I think he's a semi-decent coach with a lot of way to go. The only reason not work for him at Arsenal because that club is dead. It's shit.
Oi, bruv, no doubt. But the one thing I would say to Man City have too much ambition to give Arteta a job. That's the only thing I'd say. I think Man City would want ready-made, proven now, innit? I don't see them taking a step. It's just like Chelsea. Chelsea, bruv, you let Di Matteo win the cups and sacked him anyway, bruv. Chelsea ain't on this, do you know what I mean? Just because he's been here before. Fuck off, mate. You know what I mean? Like, Roman's not on that. He's not on that. Man sacked Lampard, yeah. Man sacked Lampard with the swiftness, yeah. Then went and won the Champions League the same season. Bro, the shit's different, innit? Shit's different, bro.
Roman Abramovich. Got to think about Roman Abramovich. He doesn't sound very typically Russian. He's got a very squeaky Russian voice.
I've never heard him speak.
He sounds like the bloke, the Eastern European bloke that runs the corner shop. Hello,
I've
yes.
never heard him.
My name is Roman. So I just got to imagine him coming in.
I've never heard him speak.
Hey,
But,
yo,
bro,
Mateo, fuck off. But that sounds more Greek. So you know.
He doesn't. It doesn't matter what he sounds like. Man's rich, fam. You know them. When you got that much money, you don't even need to speak, fam.
Oh, mate.
Man just have to turn up on the private jet or the yacht or whatever he decides, whatever is his mode of transport for the day, innit?
Oh, mate.
It's a mad thing, bro. So yeah, I don't see the Arteta. I see Ten Hag still. I think Ten Hag. I think that City have a project in it, and I think that they'll just bring in someone to continue the project. I don't think it will be anything that veers away from their ultimate their plan.
Yeah, but this is again. It's who would he bring in? I think. Do you know how could he coming in? Because I don't, like we said this couple weeks, I'm not sure he'll fully last at Bayern. I could see Nagelsmann coming in at some point to replace Pep. I think that'd be a good fit as well, you know.
Ooh, it would. But now he's at Bayern. I can't see man leaving Bayern Munich. He's German as well, so I think he's gonna get time.
That's true.
He's gonna get time, bro. That's what I mean. There's a shortage of top managers that fit that profile, innit? You know what I'm saying? So you don't. It depends on what Man City go for. If they go for the name thing and they say, "Oh, we want a Zidane or something," or because boy, going from Pep to Zidane, like, bro, two massive names in coaching, two big names in football as players, whatever. Maybe that might be their model. Who knows?
Could be.
I mean,
be
only we just have to find out. But either way, I think City ain't gonna take a step backwards from Pep. You know what I mean? I don't think they're gonna take a backward step from Pep Guardiola. I think they only go.
To be honest, I think anybody only go forward. Anyone you get is a step back right now, though, isn't it? He's the best coach in the world, and it's going to be. I think it's going to be an awkward situation because it'd be a case of he'd come in, or whoever comes in, not in a similar, well, almost similar vein to Moyes when he came in with Fergie, and Unai Emery when he came in after Wenger. You'd have big shoes to fill, you know. And it's the same when Scolari came in after Mourinho. I don't count Abraham Grant because he was a temp manager, but when Scolari came in, despite his caliber, he had big shoes to fill in a very specific style that he was with. So it's I think whoever comes in is going to find it very, very difficult, because Pep's now he's long term and he's been enveloped in the culture. It's been, I think, if he doesn't win the Champions League though in the next 2 years, that's him knocking on the head.
Fair.
Because you can't do it with Messi, innit? There's no Messi. I don't know what to do. I pick up the players and put the Amars on the right hand side.
Bro, before we wrap up, Ben fucking White, replaces Trent. Not Jesse Lingard, not James Ward-Prowse, but Benjamin White, bruv. Fucking Benjamin.
I think his name is his full name, actually. His name is.
I bet his name's not even Ben. I bet it's fucking Stuart or something.
That's Joe Hart's called Charles.
You see what I mean?
Oh, mate. Oh, Benjamin William White.
Oh, it is Benjamin. You know what I mean?
Benjamin William White. He sounds like a Scottish freedom fighter. Aye! This is from Paul, though, isn't it?
Oh, how the fuck did Ben White? Like, I just don't understand. Like, Ben Trent wasn't going to play for England, so then you've brought another player that's just not going to play. Like, exactly. Like, man's going to play 8 at the back. That's what it's looking like, Southgate.
Oh, mate. I turned off that Romania game after about 10 minutes. I was like, I didn't even watch the first 20. I was like, I know for a fact we ain't scoring. I sat down on 34 minutes. I turned it off on 44. I was like, nah. Mm-hmm. Ben White is a good player. Let's not say he's bad, because he's not. He's a very solid player. He's one of the players we were talking about that can play out from the back, really good distribution. But at the end of the day, it's a crime that if you're taking a defender, his name isn't Fikayo Tomori. So, you know, that's the bottom line on that. Ward-Prowse, apparently his free kicks yesterday were ridiculous. And what did England really miss out on and haven't had and didn't really have at the last World Cup either? A set-piece specialist. What do we have there in James Ward-Prowse? A set-piece specialist, but we didn't take him. Say we're going to take players based on form. Doesn't take Jesse Lingard. It's nuts. The fact that we're going to have Tyrone Mings as England's starting centre-back just scares me.
Yeah.
England is shit, but I will be throwing my crutches up in the air when we, you know, undoubtedly win 1-0 against Croatia. I don't know. Actually, shit, where are my crutches? Oh, shit, I left them there. I had to hop and go get them in a minute. But yeah, it's not great. Ben White he's a good player, but just isn't quite England quality yet.
That's some joke thing, bruv. I don't really know. I don't really know, bruv. Like, he went from being... Bruv, he went from being someone that no one really talked about to go into the Euros in about 8 months. I'm confused. I'm really confused.
I think Southgate has looked at the biggest problem at centre back, and he's just gone, I'm just going to take one more just to be safe. Like, I'm not gonna like Connor Cody being your starting centre back at the Euros is just. I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, who was the back three at the World Cup? It was what? Yeah, Walker, Maguire, and Stones, right?
Yeah, I think so, which makes sense. That three.
I just start that three again, and then you play Reece James.
Yeah, but Maguire's not fit, innit?
He's not fit, and we're still taking him in the squad. Same with Henderson, innit?
Yeah. And there's no Konsa, no Tomori. Like, England could have done better. Like, they could have done better.
They didn't take Konsa and Tomori because, well, in Tomori's case, he's playing in Italy, and it's very glamorous. And I think it's just because Konsa's, they're gone, he's a defender that played for Villa and they didn't have a great end of the season. Or someone else. Fuck knows.
Yeah, I don't really know. Man said Dunk. Where's Dunk? Yeah, bro, Dunk never gets in the conversation. But for me, that's better than quite a few of them man that are in the conversation. But again, he's just not as glamorous in it. Like, the whole thing's a joke, mate.
But he's a fucking fridge. I'd rather have Russell and Hobbs at the centre of my defence.
Oh, mate.
Sorry, that was a really bad joke. I won't do that ever again, I promise. I'm really sorry.
Godfrey as well. Like, bro,
he's a good player. I like Ben Godfrey.
Yeah.
He's a good utility man. He could go anywhere across the back line. He was a wise choice to take. But I just look at this England team and I'm not filled with confidence. We won't win our group. I think we'll finish second, but even then we're playing. I think don't we play the person who finishes second in the group of death? So it's going to be Portugal, Germany, or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Should we do a Euros prediction before we go? Because you can do that table, can't you?
Bro, I ain't predicting shit. You know the ones there because I don't fucking know. I'm just saying I want France to win.
I mean, if we did it, okay. We just do the groups. I'm gonna go. I think right. Can I screen share? Because this will be fun. But I promise I'll be quick.
Yeah, go for it, bro. Okay, go for it. It's a good way to wrap up still.
So, welcome to the Tournament Predictor. Can we see it?
Okay.
I think Italy are going to win Group A. I think Turkey will come second. I think Swiss will come third. And I think Wales come fourth. I think Belgium will win that group, followed by Denmark. Finland will come last, just means Russia will go third. I think North Macedonia are going to win that. I'm joking, we'll put them down at the bottom. I think they'll win that group. I think Austria and Ukraine, I think it's just a toss-up, but just because they got Alaba, I'm going to put Austria second, and I'll put Ukraine third. I think it'll go Croatia, England, Czech Republic, Scotland, and I think Spain, Poland, Sweden, Slovakia. Actually, no, swap those two around. Okay, this is the interesting one. I think Portugal, just based on their squad, will finish first. France finished second. Germany finished third. Hungary finished fourth. Hungary have been a really good team, to be honest, in the whole thing. Okay, the 4 best teams will go Germany,
Czech Republic,
yeah, definitely that's a good shout, and then the other 2,
Ukraine
and Russia.
Ukraine. I was thinking Ukraine and Switzerland, maybe.
I'll do that then. Boom. Cool. So it would mean Belgium versus Germany. Who wins that?
Belgium. Even though Germany are good, but I'd go with Belgium just in it. Italy beat Austria.
I'd say Italy beat Belgium, but we'll come back to that. Portugal beat Switzerland.
Yeah.
England will beat Sweden.
Portugal beat England. Yeah.
Croatia or France?
France beat Croatia, man.
Netherlands, Czech Republic is actually a really tough one to call.
Yeah, Czech Republic might beat Netherlands still.
I think they're a really good side at the minute.
Yeah, but
I mean, Netherlands don't have Van Dijk, so I'm just going to go Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And then Turkey will beat Denmark, I reckon.
Turkey will beat Denmark.
So then you go that. I'd go Italy.
Italy beat Belgium for me. Yeah, Belgium are shy. Portugal beat England. France beat Spain, and Turkey beat Czech Republic for me. So then France get to the final, and
that's tough,
That's tough, bro. Because I think it could go either way. I think Italy could beat Portugal, but let's say for argument's sake, I think that Portugal might have a bit too much for them. And then France beat Portugal in the final. Like it just is what it is. Like all roads lead to France, blood.
It's literally just a carbon copy of the last one, wasn't it? They were in the final. It was France, and France played Germany in the semi, didn't they?
Yeah, it's almost. Yeah, Euro 2016 final again. Mad thing.
God, that'd be so shit.
That was actually pretty sick.
So that took 5 minutes as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Not gonna lie.
I've got a weird feeling about Italy though. Against that, if it gets to that, Italy I think might do Portugal. Just about.
Yeah.
Just about.
It's decent, bro.
It's nuts.
No, I'm saying. Yeah, man. Smash up the likes, man. Let's get these likes up. Do you know what I mean? But that was lit. That was a lit way to wrap up, man. I mean, what you got coming up, bruv?
I'm just packing at the minute, so nothing on my channel for a little while. Just because I'm currently packing up my house on crutches, which is fun. Right. But then, other than that, all the edits for Imperial Wolf can be done this week. So there's going to be game coming out every 2 weeks on the Imperial, or every week on the Imperial Wolf channel, maybe 2 a week, and then we're going to be doing a documentary on this season that'll be released in about July, August, maybe. And then into pre-season, all that good stuff. And yeah, sort of just keep myself busy, really. As soon as my set's done at my new place, like this is great. I love this set. It's not got a scratch on what you're going to be seeing. Just saying. It's quality. Absolutely unreal what I'm going to be doing with that place. But yeah, I'll be on here every Monday until I'm all moved in, really. So a couple more weeks of just me doing this, maybe do a little bit of bits and pieces for the Euros. But other than that, I'm as free as a bird right now, just packing and getting myself ready.
Love that. Do you know what I mean? Big up everyone inside. Smash the like button. Make sure you follow Louis' channel. The link is in the title. Next stream, possibly this evening. Do you know what I mean? Meant to round the gang up to do a red talk, but it just depends on where everyone is in it. It's not confirmed in it, but I will schedule the show once I know what time works for everyone else. Do you know what I mean? Big up everyone. Make sure you go back and watch the red talks as well from this weekend. There were some good ones. Obviously, Griezmann, Coutinho, Adriano, and the Okocha one's going down well as well. JJ Okocha one's a mad one. So, do you know what I mean? Big up everyone inside. You already know what it is. Smash the like. And yeah, more than likely, I'll see